Hello, my name is Helena Akpeti. This project is very significant to me and other internationals who might be interested in pursuing a degree in communications at any university. The major objective of this project is to shine a light on the struggles and real-life experiences internationals go through to gain a degree in communications and how they overcame them, and these are their stories.
My name is Gabriela Lovera. I am an international student from Venezuela, and I am an international business and communications major at Jacksonville University. One of my major challenges was trying to adapt in a way to the flow of classes. I began my career here at JU as an international business major, and then I added communications, and the communications and business classes are definitely different. A big challenge was trying to adapt and just getting a hold of how things flow in the communications department. I've always been very self-conscious of my accent, to the point that I sometimes let the thought of having an accent prevented me from actually wanting to ask questions, actually wanting to reach out and communicate. I thought that I sounded stupid, I thought that I sounded dumb, but the professors at the communications department they were very they actually liked my accent. They were like, we like people with accents. So I know that I still make mistakes while speaking, but they don't say anything about it, and it's just an opportunity for you to just practice your English on a daily and not be afraid to exploit your accents. They're fun, they're different. Be patient with yourself. You will evolve, things will get better. Of course, you just have to be open to learning. And if you have any questions at all, do not hesitate to ask. Don't be afraid to ask professors, don't be afraid to ask your peers. It's important for you to not only develop yourself, but also establish relationships with people in the communications department. So get involved in communications practicums to further yourself and see what you want to do, and don't be afraid to ask any questions.
Hello, my name is Helena Akpeti. I'm a senior year at Jacksonville University and I'm a communications major. I'm an international from Nigeria. The biggest challenge I had coming into the communications department as an international was my accent. Initially, I had a hard time communicating with students and professors because I had such a thick accent. Sometimes I would have to repeat myself about 3 times before I got understood. There were times that I even got offended, thinking maybe I didn't speak the right English, but later I got to realize that it wasn't really my English, it was my accent. My transition into the communications department wasn't entirely smooth because I had to adjust into a different cultural environment, and I also had to adjust my communication skills overall. Well, I had to adapt in different ways, such as understanding the general humor and also learning how to structure and pass my messages differently than what I was used to back home. Make new friends within your department. That way you get to stay on track with whatever is going on within your department. Another advice I have is to establish a good professor and student relationship.
As a transfer student from the US Virgin Islands, one challenge that I experienced was basically adapting to the new environment and grasping the concept of the communication skills that is being taught here at JU. I did have to change my way of communicating here at JU due to the fact that I sometimes have a Virgin Islands accent. So I basically had to practice the art of speaking in standard English, whereas if I was in the Virgin Islands, I basically could have talked in my dialect, in my Virgin Islands accent to be exact. The advice that I have for upcoming US Virgin Islanders coming to JU would basically be never forget where you came from and how you got here, and always do your best and represent wholeheartedly.
I'm Dennis Staus. I'm professor of communication, and I started the program here in 1984. So I've been here quite a long time, and through the years we've had a number of students from all over the world, Europe, Africa, South America, Asia, and it's always just been a great experience for me to have students from other countries in my classes. One of the first things I notice about our international students is that they bring so much value to our classes. I love the experiences they bring, the insights they bring from their various cultures. So what I try to do as a professor is to bring those out in the students, encourage them to share their experiences, share their insights, not only about their own countries and their own culture, but to share their observations about the culture in which they are going to school. I think that probably the most challenging part probably has to be language, obviously, and nearly all of our international students have a really good command of English, at least in terms of speaking. And I think sometimes in terms of writing, that becomes more of a challenge. Over the years, I've seen the writing ability of our students improve in terms of the mastery of the language. I think our writing courses help that. We have a number of writing courses that are required. And I very much do understand that the students are expressing themselves in a language that is not their native. However, I've also noticed the effort that the international students put into the classes. For instance, I also teach speech communication, and I have students who come here who, because of the requirements of the class, have to get up in front of everyone and present speeches in a language that's not their own. And I found some of our Asian students just give a tremendous amount of effort on that. They will practice and practice and practice and practice, and sometimes end up being the very best in the class. So I'm very much I guess impressed by the way our international students really put effort out to do their very best in the class.
My name is Eunice Abonshade, an international student from Nigeria. So coming to the United States of America to come and study for me was a good thing because I got to learn other cultures. But at the same time, it was a bittersweet experience. Bittersweet experience in the sense that at first the road was rough, but as time goes on, things begin to get better. The reason why I chose to study communication is because that's what I've wanted to do right from time. So my challenges in this department, and it could be any department, is that communication barrier as an accent. We speak the same English, but to me they speak more faster here, and maybe because I'm not used to it, so when lectures are going on, I find it difficult to get everything that the professor is saying. So when I come to class, I start using my phone to record. Immediately lecture start, I put my phone on record everything that the professor is saying, so that once I'm out of class, then I will be able to listen to the record, put it down, support it with my textbook, so that I have a complete material that I can use for exam, quiz, or any other thing.
I think it would be really helpful for our international students who may be having difficulties in our classes, perhaps maybe understanding the English of our professors, because we know that there are regional accents in the United States, and our faculty come from different parts of the country, so they have accents which to us we may not notice, but to the international students can be very distinct. So I think that would be helpful for us to be more aware of that, and I would think they would be helpful for the students to come to us when they have issues, when they have questions. The educational systems in other countries differ from the United States. In some countries, the distance between a professor and a student is really distinct, and many of the students would feel uncomfortable coming to talk to their professor. Whereas in America, we tend to be much more open about that, and particularly at this university, we encourage it. However, we can't force people to come to see us. We need to make the environment open enough so our students are really interested and willing to come to us and discuss whatever might be on their minds.